what's optimal for resting heart rate? To address that, let's take a look at this meta-analysis of 46 studies that included more than 1.2 million people. On the y-axis, we've got all-cause mortality risk, or risk of death for all causes, plotted against resting heart rate in beats per minute. And what we can see is that a resting heart rate of 45 beats per minute was significantly associated with lowest risk of death for all causes. And then, as resting heart rate increased by 10 beats per minute, that was significantly associated with a 9% increased risk of death for all causes. So someone that had a 55 resting heart rate had a 9% higher risk of death for all causes when compared with someone who had a resting heart rate of 45. Similarly, someone who has a resting heart rate of 65 would have an 18% higher risk of death for all causes relative to 45. And this association continues as the resting heart rate increases. All-cause mortality risk correspondingly also increases. But this is just an association. What about causation? So one medication that reduces heart rate is known as Ivabradine. And Ivabradine reduces heart rate, which is what we'll see here, with heart rate on the y-axis plotted against age and days, and this is a study done in mice. So what we can see is that Ivabradine-treated mice had a lower heart rate at almost all time points throughout the duration of their lifespan when compared with the heart rate measured in controls. And we can see that it was a significant decrease of 14%, so a 14% lower heart rate for the duration of their lifespan, a significantly lower heart rate, that p-value being less than 0.01. But does reducing heart rate impact lifespan? And that's what we'll see here, with survival plotted on the y-axis, plotted against age on the x. And this study included 150 mice, all of them being males, which is unfortunate because whether these effects or this effect will translate to female mice is unclear. As a side note, that 150 number for mice is important because some lifespan studies actually include very small amounts of mice, say 10 per group. This is generally underpowered to see a significant effect. And if there is a significant effect, is that representative of big population-based averages? Whereas when lifespan studies, as in this study, 75 mice per group, or in Gary Churchill's study, which used more than 150 mice per group, the calorie restriction and fasting study, and if you missed that, I linked to it in the right corner, or interventions testing program, ITP studies, where they use frequently at least 50 mice per group. This is the way to do lifespan studies, so this is a good lifespan study because it includes a lot of mice. So in terms of median lifespan, we put up a black line at 0.5 survival. This is the time when half of the mice have died and half are still alive. And for the control lifespan, we can see that was a median of 906 days, and this is long-lived for the control strain. And this is good news because some lifespan studies will have a control strain of mice that lives less than 900 days, say 750 days. And then they'll give the intervention, whatever the drug or supplement of interest is, and then the intervention group will live 900 days. But for C57 black 6 mice, which is what was used in this study, median lifespans should be around 900 days. So if your intervention has short-lived mice, or if your study has short-lived mice and the intervention gets them to 900 days, have you really extended lifespan, or have you corrected some environmental defect that was shortening the lifespan of these mice? So that's a side note. Anyway, long-lived mice for the control strain in this study, which is good news. And then for the Ivabradine-treated mice, they had a median lifespan of 962 days, which was a significant 6% longer median lifespan. Now, 6% may not seem like a big deal, but if we're trying to translate that into human terms, if these results would translate, we really don't know. 6% on an 80-year average lifespan would be about a 5-year average lifespan extension, so living from 80 to 85. So this is a pretty big chunk, pretty big lifespan increase. Now, also note that the lifespan increase in the Ivabradine-treated mice was greater than 950 days. And by definition, this is a robust lifespan extension, or a robust median lifespan extension based on the 900-day rule. And if you missed that video, I'll link to it in the right corner. So what we can see from this study is that decreasing heart rate throughout the lifespan increases lifespan, at least in mice. But then the bigger question is, will reducing heart rate or keeping it relatively low, 45 beats per minute or lower, and whether we get there by leanness, the combination of leanness and fitness, or prescription meds and or supplements, will that increase human lifespan? That's the bet I'm making, or that's the bet I'm taking. I've reduced my resting heart rate from 51 beats per minute to a currently less than 44 beats per minute over the past 6 years. Whether that translates into a 5-year increased average lifespan, we'll see. If you've ever wondered what's optimal for biomarkers rather than just getting the reference ranges, well, I've got a new Patreon tier that you may be interested in. This tier currently has more than 2 hours of content that covers what's optimal, not the reference ranges, what's optimal based on more than 45 published papers with data from all of those papers for these 29 biomarkers. So if you're interested in that, check it out. If you're interested in more about my attempts to biohack aging, check us out on Patreon, where I post at least twice a day in these 5 Patreon tiers. And before you go, we've got a whole bunch of discount and affiliate links that you can use to test yourself that go to help support the channel, including ultralabtest.com, which is where I get the majority of my blood tests done, the clearly filtered water filter, which is the water filter that I'm currently using, at-home metabolomics, oral microbiome composition, NAD testing with Ginfinity, epigenetic testing, at-home blood testing with Cyfox Health, which includes the epigenetic test GrimAge, which is associated with all-cause mortality risk, green tea, diet tracking with Chronometer, or if you'd like to support the channel, you can do that with the website Buy Me a Coffee. We've also got merch, so if you're interested in wearing the ConquerAging or Diet Trying brand, as I've got on here, that link and all of the other links will be in the video's description. Thanks for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the video. Have a great day.